Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, yesterday we had two releases on Patreon. One of them was the monthly puzzle hunt, which is a set of 19 Sudokus by Skunkworks called Duality 3. Each puzzle has lines or other indications that have dual meanings, and it is really clever. It makes your brain think in very different ways from normal Sudokus sometimes. You just have to kind of recalibrate. It's a really good set of puzzles. We do urge you to have a go at it. And also, of course, on Patreon, so the other release was a crossword, a listener called Threes by Miles from 3 weeks ago that I solved live in front of the camera for you, but you will be better than I was at the finish, I imagine. It was really interesting, and thank you for those who've commented already. So our Patreon's always a good place. As well as the crosswords, there's connections and gridogram videos, all sorts going on. Now, there's also all of our apps. They feature not just classic Sudoku 2, but the Worms, and the one you see on screen is by Michael Lefkowitz, and he is the constructor of today's puzzle as well. So the Worms are kind of, what we're looking at today on the screen might be considered a worm, because it's a kind of sequence of puzzles, although actually this is just one puzzle all in one go. In the Worms you get a puzzle that feeds a few digits into the next puzzle and so on. So they are great fun. All of our apps are brilliant too. Anyway, let's have a look at the rules of Inset by Michael Lefkowitz, which are going to have to be pretty special to cope with this fascinating shape we see. And the rules say in each n by n Latin square, so this one is 6 by 6 to start with, place the digits 1 to n, 1 to 6 in this case, once each in every row and column. Each circle has an odd sum. Each square has an even sum. And obviously some of the squares and circles are bigger than others. It's a fabulous idea. Absolutely classic Michael Lefkowitz. Give it a try. I'm really looking forward to this one, and let's get cracking. So, this is a 1 by 2 magic square. I presume, yes, we can assume the overlap. There are little dotted lines making this a 5 by 5 as well. So we can assume the overlap. So that is a set of the digits 1 and 2. This is obviously a set of the digits 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to do this for the whole puzzle, but it might help in considering this circle. Are we meant to work from the bottom up or from the top down? I don't know. Right, here, there are 4 digits in this circle. It's got an odd sum. So the number of odd digits is an odd number, which is 1 or 3. Well, it can't be 1 because 3 of the digits would all have to be 2s. So there must be 3 odd digits there and 1 single 2 in that area. And I do know what that means. Weirdly, there is 1 2 in this whole area, and that means that one of these 2 must be a 2 for the 2 columns of this 3 by 3 square. If there's only 1 2 in that area, there must be 1 in those. And similarly, there must be 1 in that domino so that there are 2 in this group. And now we know that this is not a 2 and is an odd digit. And again, we've got a 4-cell odd circle with either 1 odd digit or 3. This time, I'm not so sure, because we're going to be using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 in this box, in this grid, square, Latin square. And you could put 2 4s and a 2 there, I reckon. Don't think you could put 2 2s and a 4 there, although I could be wrong about that even. But I think these could all be even. Or 2 of them could be odd. And I'm really a little bit at sea then, therefore. And I think my strategy of working up from the bottom hasn't really worked. I know there's a 3 in one of those cells. Oh, don't hit the wrong button. And a 3 in one of those because of this trio and this trio needing a 3. And that's 2 of the 3s in this 3x3 grid. So there's only 1 3 in this area, which is quite interesting, but not maybe powerfully informative. Oh my goodness, and we're gonna, okay, I'm gonna start colouring odds and evens when I know what they are. I thought I was gonna get to do more than 1 cell here, and I'm now feeling a bit silly about that. But I can do these 1 cell revelations. Oh goodness, how on earth do we go about this puzzle? How on earth? I don't know the answer to this. This is crazies. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is a 5 in this group and a 5 in this group and a 5 in this group and a 5 in this group. This is a 2 or a 4 because it's in the 1 to 5 Latin square. I thought I was onto a strategy with that circle. It really hasn't panned out, has it? Goodness, right. Let's see if we can work out what to do with the rest of this. Those add up to an odd number. I was a bit worried at first that the circles and the squares were too big. Now I feel like I want bigger ones. I can't even rely on the idea of those being an even total domino, because that might not apply in a bigger square. Okay, I'm going back down to the bottom because I can't see anything to do from the top. Can I? There's no 6s in that group. Oh, that's quite interesting actually up here. That means in this row there must be a 6 there and a 6 there and a 6 there, and in this column a 6 there and a 6 there and a 6 there. And that's all 6 6s for the puzzle. So there aren't any up here in this Latin square. And that blue is 2 or a 4 again. That's very weird. And there are no 6s in this group. Are there 2 evens and 2 odds in this, or 4 odds or 4 evens? I somehow feel it's not going to be 4 evens, but yeah, we know that there's a 6 in this group because there are 3 6s in this circle. Oh, there's got to be a 6 in this column, and it's not in that square, and it's not in the oranges, so it's there. I've got a digit, guys. Bully for me. There's got to be a 6 in this column that's got to be there. Then I can place the 6 there. Oh, it's so blatant when you see it, and so impossible when you don't. Okay, well, at least I've done something. 2 and 4 are both in this group here, in the 6. So they're not in this group in the 5, and those are both odd, therefore. I keep imagining I'm seeing boxes in this puzzle. There really aren't boxes. There's only rows and columns. What does that mean for this set of digits? Does it mean something? No, probably not. It's amazing to me at this point that this solves. It just seems insane. The 5s in this box, which are the things that can't carry. In fact, the 4s in this box, there's one there, one there, one there, one there. So that's all 4 4s. So none of these are 4s. So these are all from 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's interesting. Now the 4s in this box, there's one in one of those 2 cells and one in one of those 2. So one of these digits is a 4. So there are at least 2 even digits in this box, because you can't make a square with just one even. You can't make an even number with just one even. And there is at least 1 odd digit in those cells, so then there must now be 2 odds and 2 evens in here. One of them is a 4. And it doesn't go, and that digit has become a 2, because since that pair and that pair have a 4, this pair and this pair each have a 4. That's a 2. I hadn't seen that till now. These 2 are odd, because the 4 and the 2 have been used up in the column. And these are a 4 and an odd digit. So these are an odd digit and a 2. There is definitely a 2 in there. The pencil marking in this puzzle is a bit, I was trying to mark those as 2 horizontal dominoes. Yes, it's fine, I can see them as 2 vertical dominoes, but down here it begins to look like I've said one of those is a 2, and I haven't. What I've done is said that one of these is a 2. Actually, I've lost my pencil mark there, and one of these is a 2. That is a 1, 2, 3 group. Yeah, I don't know what these are. I do know there's 4s, 2 4s in that area and 2 4s in this area. Now 4 and 5 in this square must be both there and both there. This is odd. Wow, I'm really all at sea still. This is a 4 and an odd digit, so this is a 2 and an odd digit. And there's no 2 there, but there's also no 2 here now. Which is strange. Oh, goodness. I might have missed something very fundamental about how things interact. Down in this 3x3, you've only really got I seem to remember that when you do this, you always get one vertical of the 3 same digits. That digit either goes there and there, or there and there. If it goes like that, then you know that this central digit must now go there and there. So there's always one diagonal that is all the same digit in one of these 3x3s. I'm having to relearn that lesson. Now, do I somehow know that there are 2 2s in this section? If that was 1 3, this would be 2 4. I just don't know. Goodness, I don't know. I do know, I can work out the parity of this square, because these are 3 lots of 21, 1 to 6, that's 63, and this is an odd number in the circle, because that's the rule. So this is therefore an even left over. It's got 1 even digit there, 2 here, therefore 1 odd digit in that group, 2 in that group, that's 3 odd digits. It's got an even sum, so there's either 1 or 3 odd digits here. If there was only 1 odd digit here, that would be a 4-2 pair. No, that's nonsense. If there were 3 odd digits here, that would be a 4-2 pair. If there was 1 odd digit here, the even digit here would be a 2, because it can't be a 4. Hang on, I've definitely just worked this out, and I'm not intuiting the conclusion. There's 1 odd digit there and 2 here, that's 3. We need an even number of odd digits in total, so there's either 1 or 3 here. Could it really be? It can't be only 1, because the even digits 2 and 4 would have to appear there, and one of them appears down here. So all 3 of these are odd. That is a 1-3-5 group. That's interesting. This is now an even pair of 2-4. This is also an even pair of 2-4. And these 2 are now odd in this row. That's quite surprising. Right, I feel like I ought to be able... Yes, this cell in the column is clearly a 4, very specifically. And that means that's 2, that's 4, that's 2. This is not working out like I thought at all. Now, similarly, this is an odd sum in a group of cells that sum to 63, 21 times 3, which is an odd sum. So these add up to even in total. This one's even already with 2 odds and an even. That one's even. This pair adds up to even. Oh, look, we know all of those are odd in this row. That must be odd to make that pair add up to even, if I've got that maths right. I want to redo that maths because I'm just not sure. Maybe I can do it in this row. Yes, those 2 are odd, so that's an even sum. These 2 have to have an even sum, so they're both the same and they can't be odd. So they're even and that's odd. There we go. That's I was going to say that's a 4-6 pair because I was looking at this as a box since I've been counting it up so carefully. It's not a box. It's just parts of a row and a column. So this is now triple even. There's a 6 here and a 4 and a 6 here. That's fine. Right, well, at least we got something penciled in somewhere there. In fact, I'm going to put 1, 3, 5 in all of these cells. Now, what does that mean in these rows, I wonder? There's also a 6 here and a 4 and a 6 here. I mean, I think I've kind of taken care of that sum just by the number of evens that are in it. Here, I know I've got a 4 in there. Only one of these is a 2, so there is 1 2 in this group. And therefore, yeah, that's interesting. One of these is a 2. So there's 1 2 in this group and no 2s there. So these 2 columns in the 5 by 5 need 2 2s. So there's exactly 1 2 in this group. And we know there's 1 in that pair, so there isn't 1 in this pair. They're odd. And this pair is now a 2 4 in the 4 by 4. And this circle now has 2 odds and an even, and to get an odd total, that has to be odd and is 1 or 3. And this digit has become a 2, and so has that. And these 2 are 4s, and it looks like they're in a box, but there's no boxes. So get rid of 2 from there now. That is, in fact, odd. Of course, these ones I've just done are all even. These, that's a 4. That's 2. This is not 2, it's odd. That's not 4, it's odd. It's a 1 3 pair in its column. This one is even. This one is not 2. it's odd. This one is even, it is 2. That's a 1-3 pair, so this is a 2 in the 3 by 3. That's now a 1 in the 3 by 3. That's a 3. That sees a 1 and a 2 in its row and column in the 3 by 3, so it's odd. This has now got 3 odds, so it's an odd total circle. That's good. This is a 2. Now I can fill in these as 2s. Might as well colour them since we're this far. And now I can finish off the 3 by 3 and the 4 by 4. And can I take it up to the 5 by 5, or is that going to be trickier? 1, 3 looking at a 5 there. This is now looking at a 5 in the column and a 1 in the row, so that's a 3. 2 is looking at this pair. This has to be a 5 to finish off. That's a 4. These ones don't have a 5 in now. This group of cells is 1, 2, 4. That one can't be a 2. This pair is a 3, 5 pair. Here we've got 1, 3 looking at that, so that's a 5, that's a 3, that's a 5, that's not 5, that's not 5. The corner seems to have to be a 1. That makes that 3 and 1. This is now 5, 1, 3. Look how it fills in. It's gorgeous. 4, 5, 6, triple, 3, 5, 6, triple. Right. Now, up here, I've still got this odd circle to work out, haven't I? So this is a 2, 4, 5 triple, and this is a 3, 4, 5 triple. Now, I worked out something about this before, and I need it now. That can't be a 2. Okay, how does this work? I've got great pencil marking going on now, but I do need to finish this thing off. We are going to have either 3 evens here or 1 even to make this an odd total. No, maybe I should look at it as either 1 odd or 3 odds. That's what I should look at it as. If it was only 1 odd, we'd need an even 4 there and a 2 and 4 here. That is possible. It would have to go 4, 2, 4. If it was 3 odds, there'd be a 5 here and a 3, 5 here. That is also possible. 5, 3, 5. That's really weird. That's really weird that those are both possible. And that would work in this row, 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. It would go 5, 3, 5 as the 3 odds. Now, the alternative was just 1 odd, which was going to be in this column, and we were then going to have 3 evens, which would go 4, 2, 4. Do excuse my pencil marks. I'm just trying to understand. It's either 3 evens in that L or 3 odds in that L. So this is always odd. And this is always even. I'm not sure this is helping. I'm getting a bit weirded out by this. If that was even as well, this would be odd. Ah, look, if you'd put 2 evens there, in the 5 by 5, both of these are odd, but that's too many for the column in the 6 by 6. So these are both odd, and we are using the 535 version. That's a fascinating finish. It feels like, I don't know, Space Monkeys or something. It just feels really strange that that applied. Right, that's now odd. This is an even 2. This one is even 4, yes. That's a 1. Right, this digit is known in the 5 by 5. That's a 1. That fixes 3 and 1, 3 and 5. And now I can probably do this row. Yeah, look at this. It just comes together. 6, well, comes together to an extent. 4, 5, 6. That's brilliant. 5. Right, let's finish the colouring. There's a few cells left to colour for parity. And let's just admire this fabulous puzzle. That is so intriguing. Inset. Well done. Want to know a secret? If there'd been no clues in any of the grids other than the big grey circle in the 6x6, you could still place 4 digits. Can you spot which ones? Well, that's for you to try. I'm not going to. It's weird. It's such a weird setup. Michael's brilliant, and that puzzle was a joy. Thank you so much for watching. I really hoped. We're streaming at the moment, of course. On there'll still be half an hour left if you watched this video just when it came out. But if you're catching up, do leave a comment on the stream as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.